lore of the story. The tension was so thick you could slice it with a scimitar. I'm like, God, just don't use that metaphor. Just don't use it. So I'm tired of unprecedented times. I'm tired of unprecedented challenges. I'm tired of anything unprecedented. Can we just stop using that? But we're also here to talk about debate day, because that's happening tonight.
Oh, the presidential debate.
The first presidential debate of the 2020, and you might be like, this is the first, and you would be right in feeling a little burnt out and shocked.
I think I'm torn between getting the bowl of popcorn and then live streaming our reaction to the debate, or just ignoring it entirely and let everybody else filter through the compost pile of the remains of whatever shit show is going to happen.
Maybe we can say shit show now because we're not on community radio.
So,
I know tomorrow and the following week are just going to be filled with tiny clips of Biden looking like an idiot and Trump looking like an asshole.
This is my new repeated thing that I want to say all the time. If Joe Biden would maybe support the thing that the majority of the voters want, which would be Medicare for all, we wouldn't have to be so afraid right now. People keep thinking that we're afraid because Trump is so terrible. Maybe you're afraid because the DNC is not doing what the people who vote in the Democratic Party want, as well as the people in the Independent Party, and as well as people in the Republican Party.
Yeah.
People want healthcare for all, so we can catch up with the rest of the other industrialized countries.
Every other country. We don't have
the majority wants that.
Yes. The majority
if the candidate said, I'll support the thing that the majority of people want, we wouldn't be having to freak out over this election.
People would probably just vote for Biden.
This is why people are traumatized, because they're completely demoralized and they cannot stand up for their own wants and desires. They just have to say, well, that guy's terrible, not that guy. What about what you want? What about healthcare for all? What about a sane, responsive government? You could hold the Democratic Party's feet to the fire, or you could just continue to be traumatized by their fear tactics. That's my little ongoing rant about that.
It would be nice if the people in power in the Democratic Party did what the U.S. citizens in the Democratic Party were asking them to do, instead of gaslighting us into thinking that we don't actually want that thing.
Yeah, you're being gaslit right now, by the way.
People don't like hearing that they're being manipulated. People don't like hearing that they're being manipulated.
That's true.
I found out.
This may not be the show for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're resistant to the possibility that you are being manipulated, you're probably not going to like these conversations, because we're all being manipulated all the time. Like, the easiest example that I use all the time is Coca-Cola ads. When you listen to a Coca-Cola ad or see a Coca-Cola ad and you get feelings in your body, emotions about how maybe I want a Coke because then I would be happy like those people are happy, or I would have a nice summer like those people are having, or I would have a pleasant family holiday like those people are having. That's manipulation and gaslighting, and it's happening to us all the time, all over the place, and not just in ads. Being aware that we are being manipulated actively helps us become sovereign over our own minds and ready to stand up against manipulation. If you are just saying, I don't like the idea that I've been manipulated, then you are not, you have no armor to fight back. You have no tools to protect yourself from manipulation and to tell which are your thoughts and which are thoughts that somebody has given to you.
I just shared a link in our little zone here, our little message zone, to a book that covers a lot of that ground. It's called Culture Jam by Kali Lawson. He's the guy who started Adbusters magazine, which was a fast, I don't know if you know Adbusters.
I feel like you've talked about it a couple of times. What is Adbusters?
Adbusters was a group of the black people who had mastered the black arts of marketing and advertising, and then joined the anti-corporate federation to use their dark arts for good. So basically taking big multi-million-dollar campaigns and turning them on their head and making them look absurd with a twist of phrase or a twist of image.
And the example being?
An example being was people were upset that Camel was using this really kid-appealing camel character, cartoon
Joe
character.
Camel.
Joe Camel to appeal. And
I sort of remember Joe Camel from billboards.
Joe Camel was this massive campaign, and people were saying, you're obviously marketing these to the rest of children with this cartoon character.
Those cartoons are for kids.
So the guys at Adbusters put up a big billboard in Hollywood called Joe Chemo, and it was an emaciated camel cartoon character in a hospital bed on an IV, and it just everybody knew what that was because they had taken the multi-million-dollar campaign and just done a little Tai Chi flip on it, and used the energy against itself. And that became a viral image before the internet was really going on. It became a viral image. People started taking pictures and sharing it. These are the things that can be done. This is the book Culture Jam is a way to not feel like you are the helpless victim of the giant overlord, be that corporate, be that governmental, that we do have power to flip the narrative. It takes creativity, not millions and millions of dollars. You can use the force of the propaganda that's being used against you to turn back on the people who are forcing it on you. Anyway, it's a book called Culture Jam, and I put it in the comments here. A book I highly recommend, which I cannot do when we are on community radio.
Yeah. We can recommend a lot of things now.
Right.
People are recommending that we watch The Social Dilemma, and I'm going to pay that recommendation forward to you before we've even seen it.
So Lawson deconstructs the advertising culture and our fixation on icons and brand names. He shows us how to organize resistance against the power trust that manages the brands by uncooling consumer items, by de-marketing fashions and celebrities, and by breaking the media trance of our TV-addicted age.
Oh, making them less cool?
Yeah, making them less cool.
Gotcha.
Anyway, just a random book that I thought of when you were saying that thing. So we're throwing that into the feed there.
I'd also like to recommend, if you are of age and in the market, the folks that helped us make our hilarious GoFundMe video, Lush and Stoner. I put a link to their work in the feed for the Post-Orthodoxy video.
Yes, this is a collaborative effort.
It's a collaborative effort, and we really appreciate their help because we do not have the equipment yet to look that pretty on video.
Or the genetics.
Or, but if you're of age and you're the sort of person that likes to watch pretty people do fun things, you can always look up Lush and Stoner on Instagram or Chatterbait or Pornhub.com.
What are we calling that? Ethical?
Ethical, consensual, imaginative, and LGBTQ plus friendly porn.
So I have a problem with the word porn.
I know, because it's so like, what do we call it? Like, they're basically doing therapy with people, but sexy therapy.
It's sex work.
Sex work, yeah.
Yeah, and that needs to be legitimized as a thing in the world.
As an actual work.
In a non-prude world.
Yeah, it's something that humans want and need.
Some people do like to have sex. There's rumors going around, and I've seen some evidence.
Yes.
Some people like to have sex.
And anyway. Some people like to watch sexual things.
Yeah, there was a Supreme Court. We had a whole censorship thing in the 80s around when the Republican world came into being, with Reaganism came into being through the Republican lens. There was this massive turn towards prudishness and censorship and being proper, just say no.
Say no to everything.
Right. So there was a Judge Rehnquist, I think was the judge on the Supreme Court at the time, that his definition of porn was anything that causes sexual thought and has no artistic merit.
I'm looking it up right now.
And Bill Hicks does a great bit on it. He goes, sounds like every commercial on TV.
Every commercial.
Yeah.
Causes sexual thought.
And has no artistic merit.
We've disassociated so much from how sexually manipulative our ads are. We're like, it's not sex. I'm like, yes, it absolutely is. It's a guy and a girl on a cute date drinking Coca-Cola, and everybody watching that is thinking, maybe I will also get laid if I drink Coca-Cola.
Oh, that's the more subtle ones.
That's the subtle
ones. At the time, the bit that Bill Hicks was doing was a girl in cut-off blue jean shorts with a belt buckle who takes a Bud Light and hooks it into her belt buckle and unhooks the cap and lets it foam all over her hand.
Oh my god!
That's porn.
That's porn. So Yeah, they really dumb things down in my age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty, you know, 70s and 80s.
Here's what the internet says.
Yeah.
Porn, television programs, magazines, books, etc. that are regarded as emphasizing the sensuous or sensational aspects of a non-sexual subject and stimulating a compulsive interest in their audience, such as a thrilling throwback to the golden age of disaster movies, weather porn of the highest order. We talk about outrage porn a lot.
Oh, that's that definition.
Stimulating
outrage
you
porn.
to have a reaction that you didn't mean to have. That's all the clips that are going to be filtered around after the debate tonight. There's just going to be a ton of clips of people showing how stupid Joe Biden is and people showing how much of an asshole Trump is.
That's outrage porn.
It's just designed to make you feel...
Most of our big CGI blockbuster films I call disaster porn.
Right.
There's not like a real
like
moving...
Transformers.
There's not a moving story in there.
Just like
There's just crap breaking.
Buildings get smashed.
Yeah.
My mother was always really sad anytime like the main character like in a movie would drive their vehicle or do some sort of chase through an idyllic Middle Eastern market, destroying everything in the market. You know, like that's a thing. Apples flying everywhere and goats getting trampled. And porn is also defined as sexually explicit videos, photographs, okay, writings or the like produced to illicit sexual arousal.
Yes.
The depiction of erotic behavior intended to cause sexual excitement.
So, the Rehnquist said specifically it was that, but it has no artistic merit. And then that opens up the whole vague thing.
No artistic merit. So
otherwise,
so it's
you can
not,
have an art nude.
Right, that's how they were trying
porn.
to be like, no, we can still have museums with curvy naked ladies in them.
Yeah, because that's...
Right, you're not going to be jacking off in a museum.
That's an art nude, not porn.
It's not trying to elicit sexual thought, but it will if that's the only naked bodies that you see.
It will if you live in a completely repressed society.
Like in the ye olden days.
Like here.
If you watch like, what's that movie? A Faraway Place? Or Far and Away. What's the one? Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. He's like an Irish boxer and she's a rich girl and they run away together to America because they're in love. And at one point in the movie, in order to get a favor from the captain on the ship, because they don't have enough money to buy food while they're traveling to the U.S., she shows him her ankle. In a sock and boot.
Right. Just the shape of the ankle.
She just happens to, like, casually pull her skirt up a little bit to show the shape of the woman's... Like, that's the sort of thing. My mother was all in favor of that stuff.
Yeah.
I would try to bring that up, like... So, like, dude, you do realize the more we cover up, the more the next thing that's not covered is just going to be sexual. And she's like, yes, I think it should all be covered. And I'm like, ah!
Yeah.
But hijabs are bad.
Hijabs are bad, I guess.
Yeah. Not that kind of covered up, Ainsley. I'm not trying to dress you in a burlap sack. I just want you to be modest and pure.
Close enough.
Yeah, those are my mother words. Those are not my feelings about traditional religious garments of other cultures. So let's talk about the debate.
Yeah, okay.
What? Are we going to live stream it?
Maybe.
How would that be fun for anybody? They would have to have the debate on and also have the phone on about us?
I want to do it just for myself. I want to do...
You want to watch it with popcorn?
I want to watch it with popcorn. And I've been wanting you to do reaction videos because you're sort of like a cultural virgin in the world that is still like shocked at the dumb things that happens on television. And I think the reactions are wonderful.
Maybe we can find it somewhere that has the commercials, because I'll definitely have reactions to commercials. Because when you don't watch commercials all the time, you can tell how dumb they are.
Yeah, right. When I don't watch TV very often unless we go to a bar,
right,
or something. And there's a football game, and then the commercials come on, and then I watch them, and there's always this feeling of like, is this a skit? Is this like a Saturday Night Live satire
of the presidential debate?
No, of the commercials. Is this a satirical commercial? No, it's just bald, manipulative.
When you don't watch commercials all the time, you realize how disjointed commercials are from the rest of real life. Like, commercials are not real life.
Yeah.
I like the feelsy ones, like the Budweiser Christmas horses commercials, and like iPhone always puts out really nice commercials to sell. The new one they put out to celebrate their new camera, where it's a bunch of kids making a movie about a snowball fight, and I get feelings.
You get feelings about
and then
that.
I get resentful because I'm not used to other things making me have feelings that I didn't choose.
Having been somebody who worked in Los Angeles and did TV commercials, when you're watching that commercial where everybody is having a great time, or there's somebody having a really loving emotional moment, that actor having the loving emotional moment is probably drawing from the fact that her car is getting 3 tickets because the production has gone overboard and she can't afford to pay them.
Yeah.
So she uses that in her motivation as an actress to sell soap to somebody.
Right.
And then she has to go out and find out she has a boot on her car.
Or like the memes, woman laughing with salad.
Laughing with salad.
Like, just eat a salad. But no, we have to make this salad look like the most fun thing, because guess what? People don't really like salads very much.
I do like salad. I'm one of the people.
You're one of the weirdos.
Salads. I know.
But like, you have to make a salad. Like, she's like showing all her teeth and her tongue and eating a salad. How do you even do that?
If you've never Googled women
laughing with salads,
I'm sure there's a Tumblr
out there you can
follow.
I forgot we wanted to have a fight.
No, I didn't want to have a fight.
Well, you said something and I disagreed with you.
There's just going to be a fight.
Yeah. So I said, what if we talk about Darkening's Mutual Appreciation Society Day?
Yeah.
And try to share some resources with our friends that we found that can help when you're having a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, such as, look up your horoscope and then find a nice person to read to give you encouraging and insightful tidbits about your horoscope. Yeah. That's a thing that you can do to get to know yourself.
Yeah.
I also said several other examples of ways that you can get to know yourself.
There were some other examples.
And then what did you say?
I just said, so because you and I have such great communication, because we take one day off a week to work on our communication issues. I said, I'm thinking of our audience, and the idea of saying, to get to know yourself better, maybe find some astrological knowledge about yourself.
The stars and the planets
and because I am culturally schizophrenic, I have many worldviews that I've been through. Sometimes some representative of one of those worldviews pipes up and says, totally delegitimizes everything you say after there because you said astrology, you're an idiot.
Right.
So I thought that I would challenge you on that, because I do like to read Rob Bresney's horoscopes. I don't know if you know Rob Bresney. I've been reading his horoscopes since I was in my 20s in Los Angeles, and I like them. That's because I feel like I am I appreciate the use of an oracle. And the idea of an oracle to me is not unscientific. The idea of somebody who can write prose in a way that evokes things in your mind is useful.
Right. He's not telling you what to think.
He's not telling you to meet somebody by the merry-go-round on Thursday.
Or to expect a lot of money.
Or expect a lot of money. He writes prose poetry, and then it's up to you to then see what it evokes in you around your life. And I think that's a skill set. It's a rhetorical skill set, a way to evoke thoughts, causes, aspirations,
so many things
hopes.
Could help us with that.
So I like that. That's why I like Bresney, because he's not one of the regular astrological things. So, not the usual abstract. It can be abstract without being poetic. And I like his poetic nature because I think it's more evocative for me. So, anyway. I said?
You said, people will think bad things about us.
Well,
you said we would immediately ostracize certain people from wanting to listen to us if we mentioned astrology.
Yes.
And I said...
What did you say?
I said, we just made a GoFundMe video with some porn stars, which will immediately ostracize a large portion of the audience who maybe has always thought of themselves as quote-unquote struggling with porn.
Right.
Or that all porn leads to human trafficking. Or that masturbation is sinful and will send you to hell. And when I brought up concerns about ostracizing that group of people, you said, that's okay. They don't want to listen to our show anyway.
Artistic license.
And then you said, if we talk about astrology, that will immediately ostracize certain people.
Right.
And I was like, that seems like inconsistency to me.
And
so we have to worry about ostracizing your people that care about...
My people.
I don't know. The people that you're worried... your intellectual crowd that you're worried will delegitimize us if we mention astrology.
Okay, so I'd like to. There's a difference. This is apples and oranges kind of thing.
I don't think so.
Yes, because in the video, if you've not watched the video for our fundraiser, if you haven't seen it, there was a link put in our sidebar here.
Yeah.
You could also just go to GoFundMe/Post-Orthodoxy 2020.
True.
And then you can see the video that we did.
Super.
I don't want to do spoilers.
We made a video with some porn stars.
Shut up.
I said it already.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
So
it's funny.
And you use the term porn stars, which I don't know. I don't know if that's an appropriate term to use.
Well, because they're not stars yet.
Sex workers?
They're really
online sex workers?
Cammers.
Cammers. Okay, that's a thing.
Online sex workers.
All right.
They're really popular, but I don't think they're stars yet.
Not stars. I don't know where that demarcation is. I guess when people recognize you on the street.
Boyce Brown recommends the Spanish-speaking Liberace of Astrology on Netflix. Is awesome.
Oh.
Let's see. I'm looking at that.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, it's a movie?
Oh.
Let's see.
So anyway, the difference is...
Mucho amor. I have heard the Walter Mercado. We got to watch the Walter Mercado video. Thank you for re-recommending that to us.
Somebody who has seen our fundraising video said that they liked our use of bold humor.
Bold humor.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
So I think you can have...
You're also not as repressed as most Americans.
True. And I think people who are that repressed to be offended by that video probably aren't the kind of folks that want to have a conversation around the things that we're having a conversation.
Okay, I will flip that script on you.
Flip it. Plus, also funny.
People who are so repressed that they cannot touch astrology or star signs lest it mean they're a woo-woo probably won't appreciate the conversations that we're having. Therefore, we shouldn't worry about offending them or ostracizing them.
I'm not going to worry about it.
Well.
I do want to highlight and qualify my personal feelings around astrology.
You are having personal feelings about astrology.
Yeah.
So you use astrology as a tool in your life, but you still kind of feel like it's a little woo-woo.
No, I just use Rob Bresney in particular as an artist in my life. That's how I would say it. And he uses, he could, I don't know if that's actually according to the astrological omens. For me, it doesn't really matter. It's poetry, and I like to read his poetry.
So Ayla Kristen on Twitch mentioned that something that might be more accessible to...
Billie Jean. Billie effing Jean.
Billie Jean!
She's sitting in the chair.
She's barking at the Head Start vans.
Oh, yeah.
Buses. So the Head Start buses drive by, and they have these chains that jangle under the tires in preparation for snow weather, and it just pisses her off. Head Start buses with chains and skateboarders.
Enraged.
Just running back and forth. I don't know why. It's a problem. So anyway, Ayla Kristen suggested a text-based live stream.
Right.
Which I used to do when I was watching HBO's Hannibal TV series, which was absolutely amazing. Every week when the new episode aired live all over the planet, fans and actors and producers of the show would all be twittering together. We would all be live. We would have a new hashtag for each episode, and we would tag all of our texts and reactions and questions with that hashtag. And oftentimes, the show cook would respond, or one of the actors would respond, or the producer and director would respond. It was a really beautiful community building thing, and I think that's a great tip. I've done text-based live streaming before, and I would love to introduce you to the art of text-based live streaming.
Text-based live streaming.
So we can watch the debate and use a particular hashtag.
So we can do that? Are we going to do that tonight?
On Twitter. And then if people want to participate in that commentary with us on Twitter, we all use the same hashtag.
Okay.
So we'll come up with a hashtag. So the official one is Debates 2020.
Yeah.
And we don't want to make it something complicated.
Gateway to the Apocalypse 2020.
That's still a lot of big words.
Oh.
We could do PO Debates 2020 or Debates 2020 PO for Post-Orthodoxy. And then
yeah, let's try it.
If, like, say, Ayla wanted to text with us and we could all be doing commentary together.
Oh, fun. That's like
we would be able to follow that hashtag and see anybody else using that hashtag.
That's a very, like, social distancing way to do things.
To have a conversation. Twitter's really fun. It's like literally like texting your friends but in public.
I've never used it that way.
Oh. So Debates 2020 PO hashtag?
Sure. Let's try it out.
Official. I like it. Alright. So what do we have on the docket for the rest of Mutual Appreciation Day? Breakfast.
Breakfast, therapy.
Yeah, we got some therapy.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to do on your Mutual Appreciation Day or your Solo Appreciation Day.
Maybe a nap.
I had so much Benadryl and so much naps yesterday.
I want to read. Maybe we can read because Steve Stark, friend of the show, gave us the 12th Planet book.
Oh, that's right. We do need to start incorporating reading actual books.
We'll just read that book because it's one of those books that I think we should discuss. We should have a whole thing around that book.
Yeah, ongoing segment on the 12th Planet.
The 12th Planet is one of those, I guess you would call it pseudoscience. It's a pseudoscience book or science fiction, depending on if you really just want to not have to think about it too seriously. But it deals with your long-standing research into
Noah's
flood and evolution, anti-evolution theory, creationism theory, whatever it is.
I see you with your leading language.
So this book is, I think, a bridge between for people who are. I don't know. I haven't read it yet.
Well.
It's a famous book.
It's a famous book, many people think it's sci-fi, and many people think that it's not sci-fi.
I read it when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
So I need to read it again and see how much I think. So that would be a post-Orthodox
perspective.
Historical evolutionary perspective.
Okay.
So that totally fits within the theme of the show.
So I wanted to take a second and thank all of our GoFundMe donors so far.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. We're trying.
I don't even know who some of these people are.
We're trying to raise $5,000. We want to we're working on building our website. Our friend Valerie Mann is designing our website, and I'll drop a link to her design studio. She just changed the name in the Post-Orthodoxy in case you need a website designed. So the website is being designed. It's going to be a portal for discussions like these, text-based discussions. There's going to be a blog. There's going to be other perks such as stickers and private live streams for subscription members as opposed to these public live streams. We're also going to buy a new used computer, which you can get a good new used Mac for only like $1,500, $1,800. How old is your computer, dear?
It could have grandchildren by now, I think.
Yeah. So we need a computer that can handle the live stream.
Yeah.
And then we also need like 3 microphones so we can have a guest in the studio. We need a camera that is not my cell phone because right now we're live streaming off my cell phone.
Because then we can take more calls.
Yeah, we can take calls from people who do not have enough data to do a video live stream, and then we can also use all of that equipment to have a video live stream where we have maybe us and Hansi Freinacht in the Swiss Alps on camera, or we can have
I don't know if we're going to be able to get him on camera.
We might not be able to get him on camera.
We can get his audio.
We can get an audio.
He's way up there where cameras don't work.
That's right. But members of the Intellectual Explorers Society.
Yes, that would be great.
It would be really awesome to do an interview with some of my post-evangelical friends around purity culture and the things that they've learned getting out and their experiences, gender norming everything.
I have some good friends in Northern California that are in the highest echelons of the disclosure movement.
Which is about aliens, right?
Which is about disclosing all the known things that the governments know about UFOs and aliens and interdimensional, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to be able to talk with all of those people and you live with a schedule that you can set aside your lunch break for if you want to. We're going to do some morning shows and some evening shows to try to accommodate everybody. And then all of those videos will always be available on our Facebook afterwards for people to watch.
Right.
And we want to hire somebody to turn them into podcasts because we know we're hearing.
We're job creators.
Podcasts are
It's true.
Podcasts are the thing. And we want to have these live conversations with you guys and then turn it into audio content for later for road trips and things like that.
Right.
So I want to,
we are now, so since we were censored and gagged and banned from KBMF, no longer America's Most Radio. It's just some of America's radio.
Some of America's radio.
Since that happened, we have been picked up by a radio program on KTUH in Honolulu.
As a regular guest appearance?
Every Sunday we'll be doing probably from somewhere around 2:30 to 3 o'clock Montana time, 10:30 to 11 o'clock Hawaii Standard Time.
Yeah.
Where we will do half an hour interview with host E. Omni. Know thyself.
Holder of 3 degrees in philosophy.
Yes, triple philosophy major.
Woo! To have conversations like these, and you guys can participate.
So he has subjects that he brings up every week, and we will talk with him there, and we'll be able to apparently do it. We've done 2 shows so far, have been fairly open and candid with our sources and our things and our information, and we have not been banned from KTUH yet. I know that the folks in Butte are a very sensitive, delicate group of people. I know they're not really hardy and hard scrabble folks. I know that they have a very delicate sensibility that KBMF had to protect the citizens of Butte from us because we're so dangerous.
Somebody's going to pull that clip out.
So dangerous.
We're not saying that citizens of Butte
I did the
are
long
pussies.
pause so they could zoom it in.
With the music showing that you're obviously a bad person.
With Carmen Burana playing in the background or something.
Oh my gosh. Is that the...
No, it's on every conspiracy. No, it's every conspiracy video. It sounds like the end of the world with gothic chanting in the background.
So we calculated that it would only take 200 friends donating $25 each to reach $5,000. That's pretty easy. We understand it's tough and trying times, and we're not like raising money to save us from cancer. But we really appreciate your guys' support because we want to be able to build a studio at home, build our community with you guys online with all these new online tools, and then start taking Post-Orthodoxy on the road.
That's the idea.
We want to go to places where stuff is happening and live stream and do interviews and give you guys news and meta news as it's happening from real people who are not being paid by anybody to spin it a particular way.
That's right.
So many thanks to Matt Stoner, Bruce Pedersen, Lindsay Gordon, an anonymous donor, Mark Hayden, 2 more anonymous donors, Pia Soliwoda.
Yeah, Hawaii's in the house.
Eric Altoff.
Yeah,
Sean Yardy. Jake Thompson in Florida, Mark French in the South, an anonymous donor, Robert Pierce, who is a friend of the show from North Dakota.
Okay.
Elko Evans.
Hawaii's in the house.
Corey Cole. I don't know who Corey Cole
is, but he was very
said
generous.
Peace sign in his comment.
That's amazing.
And I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Rosie Bowles, Mad Dog Madigan.
Yeah, Mad Dog.
And another anonymous donor.
San Francisco.
So we've got people who are live streamers, people who are musicians, arts and entertainment people in the veterinary business, somebody that works at Disney, local folks here in Butte, and folks from all over the country. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, one is an impresario of the underwear circus in San Francisco.
That's a lot of big words.
Yeah.
The underwear circus.
Yeah.
What's an impresario?
You have to look it up.
Okay, so let's wrap the show up with quick things back and forth. If you're thinking that you might want to start an Appreciation Society Day for yourself or a Mutual Appreciation Society Day with yourself and a partner or partners, what's one thing that you could add to that day for your self-care and self-soothing?
Walking around, going out and getting into nature while you still can, Montana people. I think we don't get out as much as many people that we know do because of our projects.
Okay, I'll say read
rolling
a book.
Projects.
I'll say read a real book.
A real book.
And I'm not anti-Kindle at all, but they're, at least for people who have grown up with real books, holding a real book in your hand again will trigger some really nice endorphins for you.
For me, doing my artwork, just being able to have a whole day where I don't have to answer phone calls, do any appointments, but just be able to pull out all the supplies and make things.
Put them everywhere.
Yes.
I'll say hygiene. And I don't mean you stink. I mean take a bath or take a really long shower where you do everything in one shower. Instead of this, especially for the working women.
What do you mean by everything?
Like, I mean like shave your legs and pumice your feet and clean under your toenails and deep condition your hair and do a nice facial care routine and do some body brushing to help your neurolymphatic system. Like, do it all. Do all of it. And then get out of the shower and also do some nice lotion and maybe put a mask in your hair and maybe, you know, like paint your nails. Like, don't just spread it all out over the week to try to keep it on a rolling basis that you look appropriate for human society. Do a nice treat for yourself. What's something else?
Something else?
Yeah.
Making a nice meal for yourself. Like really spending some time in the kitchen and enjoying the process of making a meal.
Yeah, totally.
Not like I gotta make a meal, but like I get to do this thing and make something tasty.
Cuddling or self-cuddling.
What's self-cuddling?
Well, it's tough.
That could be curling up with a good book in the sunlight.
Or you could say you can Netflix and chill with a friend or with yourself. So you can wrap up in a blanket rather than being like, it's the end of the day and I feel like a piece of shit and so I'm just gonna watch TV, but I'm not gonna be nice to myself while I watch TV because TV doesn't really count as a valid human activity and I should probably be doing something else, but I'm just gonna, you know, like say I'm gonna watch TV and I'm gonna pick a show that I really like and I'm gonna enjoy it and make yourself a cup of tea and a snack and wrap up in a blanket and be really comfortable while you're doing it. Put the lights down in the room. Turn off the dryer sound so that you don't think about the laundry being done when the dryer ends.
So if you're watching 8 hours of TV a day the rest of the week, that one day of the week can have special TV time.
Make it special.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up about the thing that you're doing anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So please do share your thoughts on our video of things that people can do on an Appreciation Society Day or a Mutual Appreciation Society Day. We're trying to share things that you can do to take care of yourself. It's hard to give yourself a massage, understandably, but you could schedule an appointment for a massage if you have wealth privilege.
Yeah, there's some people who do have that.
Or you might be able to swap a massage with somebody in exchange for baking them some cookies. Some skill that you have. Or some resource that you have that they want.
You can polish your brass.
True.
I really like polishing brass.
Self-care.
Yeah, it's nice and shiny.
I love not being on the radio anymore. But
I'm talking about actual brass items with brasso.
You do like polishing things.
I love polishing things.
Yeah.
It's very meditative.
Christian Betcheloff from Germany says, be nice to each other.
That's something to do.
Journaling. Or even writing a letter to someone that you can't talk to anymore. And then burning it.
Yeah.
Or not burning it.
Right.
You know, like if you have a loved one who's passed away that you haven't gotten to have closure with them, take time on your Appreciation Society Day to talk with that person by putting your words on paper.
We have a German in the house. Maybe we would like to talk to Christian sometime.
I would love to have Christian. Christian's a German filmmaker, and I really want to know what his perspective is on how things are going in Europe politically and pandemically.
Yeah, Christian, maybe you could be a guest on our show next week.
Yay!
Or this week.
Yeah, we got to do a lot of shows this week because we're pumping up the GoFundMe.
Let's try to figure out how to do one of those Zoom things.
Yeah, we want to get the GoFundMe done so that we can stop talking about it.
Right, so this
Nobody
is
wants
not,
to hear us talk
this
about
is
it
not the Post-Orthodoxy show. This is, what is this?
This is an interlude.
This is a Post-Orthodoxy interlude between the radio station, where we were banned, into our own home studio where we can do a bigger, better, wider, greater show for you guys. So that's coming up, and again, if you haven't watched the video on our GoFundMe page.
It's really funny.
I would love to hear your feedback and see if we went too far, again. Apparently, some people, nobody said we went too far.
No. Anytime people think that we have gone too far, they just stop talking to us or complain to mommy and daddy about us.
That's right.
Because we had apparently like 12 friends complain to KBMF about our show who did not say anything to us about it.
Christian said he's in.
Yes!
So, Christian, would
We're
you like to be...
time.
Can we somehow come up with some magical ritual to dub people international correspondents? We have our Swiss international correspondent.
And our
we have
South
South
African
African international correspondent. Christian, do you want to be our German international, what do they call it? That was my phrase from the Zulu thing anyway. Global partner?
Global partner, yeah.
Do you want to be a global partner of Post-Orthodoxy?
I like that you're talking to him on the camera right here.
I'm talking to his name.
Him in the camera right here.
Yeah, I'm talking to your name on page. You should be able to feel it through the comment section. My eyes staring at your name
in the comments. Boyce Brown says Post-Orthodoxy is as dangerous as Maverick in Top Gun.
And then he has a video there.
What? I never saw Top Gun, so tell me, is Maverick dangerous?
Yeah, he's dangerous.
Oh no.
He's a bit of a maverick.
We're dangerous to the norms. We're dangerous to.
You think so?
The default world.
You think we're dangerous?
Well, what is the definition of something being dangerous?
Danger.
Unexpected.
I want to have an apocalypse show coming up.
We need to talk about the apocalypse.
I want to talk about the apocalypse again because a lot of people think of it as a Christian thing. There's a really, I gotta find another book. There's a really nice book called Everyday Apocalypse.
Able or likely to cause harm or injury, likely to cause problems or to have adverse consequences. So, if you need the world to stay a particular way in order for you to feel safe with your political party, feel committed in your marriage, feel compassionate towards your parents, then new information that would shake up the way that you see the world could be considered dangerous. Because it would be likely to cause problems or have adverse consequences. For instance, I couldn't take in any new information about LGBTQ plus community or alternative relationship styles because it would be dangerous to my marriage.
Right.
In the marriage that I was in the past, it would be dangerous for me to consider any information outside of lifelong heterosexual monogamous marriage.
Right.
And it was dangerous to my marriage. It had adverse effects on my marriage for me to get to know people in the LGBTQ plus community and consider that there are other kinds of relationship styles out there.
So there's a show that I just put a link to in our comments. It's by an author named David Dark.
Hey.
The name of the book is Everyday Apocalypse, and I'm going to read about it because I think this is an important book for the times that we live in, even though this is an old book.
Okay.
This is from way back when.
Smarties.
Here's an intro to the book. The term apocalypse usually evokes images of mass destruction, burning buildings, nuclear fallout, and even rapture or tribulation. Often our attempts to interpret the imagery of the book of Revelation seem to carry us far away from our day-to-day existence. Well, this was written a few years ago. David Dark challenges this narrow understanding in Everyday Apocalypse, calling his readers back to the root of the word, which is revelation.
To reveal.
Through readings of Flannery O'Connor stories and savvy discussion of the Matrix themes, Dark calls us to imagine the apocalypse as a more watchful way of being in the world. He draws on the sometimes unlikely wisdom of popular culture, including The Simpsons and films like The Truman Show, to highlight how the imagination can expose our moral condition. Ultimately, Dark presents apocalypse as an honest self-assessment and other-centeredness in the here and now. And the point of the book is that apocalypse happen all the time. If you've been dumped by somebody who you thought everything was fine until the moment you were dumped, that's an apocalypse. That is a revelation of a reality that you had been occluded, and then it was revealed, and then you were annihilated. Your idea of the world was annihilated. That happens also with political systems. That happens with our religious systems. That happens with our faith in a celebrity who does something against our moral code. These are all little apocalypses, and then we have larger apocalypses. I think getting familiar with that word and its intention is really useful in the times that we're living in now, where so many structures are being called into question. Their integrity are being called into question.
We think of apocalypses as bad things and revelations as kind of good things. The root of apocalypse is to uncover or reveal that which has been covered. So technically we should want apocalypses to happen.
You should want them.
Because I don't want to not know things. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want people keeping secrets from me.
So that's you suffer an apocalypse when you are invested in the illusion. So if you can...
Resistance to change.
Resistance to change. So if the illusion breaks and you're able to see what was behind the illusion, the more enduring reality behind the illusion, then you don't suffer the apocalypse. You feel the benefit of knowing more and being able to have a clearer sight into what your reality has for you. So anyway, that's just another sidebar book that I would like to recommend to folks. If you want to take a deep breath and try not to see apocalypse as a bad thing. Try not to see the fall of the American empire as necessarily a bad thing. It's been corrupted for a long time.
Yeah.
The state, the United States, as an experiment, has been problematic for a long time, and it hasn't been serving what it promised to serve for a very long time. And so I think we should encourage being able to see a new way that might work better than the only thing we think we have. Parallel institutions. KBMF was a parallel institution to corporate media because it was free from censorship. Now we are
a parallel institution
to that parallel institution. We got to keep moving, I guess. You can't get locked in. And then when we become corrupt and multimillionaires, somebody will have to take us down.
Right.
And then
a new order.
A new parallel institution has come to replace the decrepit and calcified Post-Orthodoxy.
Yeah, maybe someday
it was stuck in its Post-Orthodox ways.
We'll get some sort of big donor that will give us more money than we can turn down in exchange for never talking about religion again.
Right.
And we'll be like, do we want to travel the world in style for the rest of our lives and not worry about retirement? I suppose we can stop talking about how maybe sometimes religion is poisonous and spirituality and religion are not the same thing. And then we'd be corrupt and someone else would have to take up the mantle.
Welcome to Post-Orthodoxy, sponsored by the Catholic Church.
Ah! No! I'm going to share a note in the group in the video before we head out. If you were wondering what the heck happened with KBMF, everything is in this note, and we look forward to your comments and your thoughts.
What is this note?
It's the note. It's the note. It has all of the documents and the data.
Oh, it's the case file.
And it's a case file, yeah. So we put it all together in one spot so you can judge for yourself what happened. You can listen to the offending radio shows and see if it was justified to censor us and kick us off the station entirely, which included ending my long-running kids talk radio show where kids come to the station and learn how to do radio.
Yeah.
So that sucks. But anyway, I guess we're just going to call it for a day. Someday I'll have a little button where I can be like, boop, boop. Bye guys, boop. But I don't have that, so now I have to get up.
So we're going to do that political thing later?
Yeah, we're going to live stream on Twitter.
Yeah, if you want to watch reaction videos to the Trump-Biden debate 2020, tune in here later.
We're going to do text live streaming on Twitter.
Okay.
But yeah, maybe also videos.